you must start that. But that 4 weeks between the warning and the potential diagnosis and the call to go and have a test, and then ultimately being given the all clear, my goodness, you must have been in total turmoil.
Yeah, my head was scrambled, Jim, putting it nicely. I couldn't tell fam. Well, I did work, Jim. I was an area boss for a large designer outlet company, which are based all over the country. I had a good position with anxiety, and I think that was brought on with stress with work. That I had the nervous breakdown, but due to the fact of any time that I did go to the CPN, I felt as if, Jim, when I did sit down there, I was getting time, because it was as if I only got to sit with her for, say, 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. And I never got to really express and really open up to her, Jim.
No, not in that time. You just wouldn't. I understand all kinds of disaster when it comes to people's both mental and indeed if we were spending more time examining people and understanding the symptoms people are expressing.
Of course, Jim.
We'd identify lots of other things too.
Yeah, the only other thing I was wanting to point across, Jim, was after waiting 6 months to see the CPN, I got to see her for about, say, 5-6 weeks, and then that was it. I was taken off the list. Yeah. Because she said, you seem a lot better, but I never got to see her, and then I had to, at the minute, I'm back on a waiting list again, Jim, to go back to see her again.
That would have been another massive challenge for you, Stuart. You've got enough on your plate, my friend. Thank you for talking to me this morning.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having the time for me. Thank you, Jim.
Seriously, nice to hear from you. 0800 731 2000. We'll continue with more of your calls. We're off to Little Meadow in Essex in just a moment.
Back on BBC One.
On your back. Have you
Rolling, writing as Robert Galbraith.
My name's Cormoran Strike. I'm a private detective.
I'm Jasper Chisel.
The Minister. You recognise this girl? She went missing from care, living less than 10 miles from the Chisel estate.
When Billy says helped them, could he mean the Chisel family?
What if this is all the tip of the iceberg?
Strike returns tonight at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Text 81333 and start your message with the letters UK. Text to charged at your standard message rate.
This email is from George in Wales, who said last week the neurologist isn't sure what's wrong, hence the MRI scan, but I've been told by a physiotherapist that I've been seeing and a nurse friend that some of the symptoms point towards multiple sclerosis. But due to the unknown nature of my symptoms, I've chosen to tell only a handful of people what I've been suffering from. Motivation, isn't it, to keep things private? If you don't know exactly, say something and nothing. I hope it will. Thank you for that. This one says, Jim, I was diagnosed with a brain tumour last year. It wasn't clear
in 200 meters,
whether it was benign or malignant initially. I was being tested, but then came the pandemic and everything was put on hold. I did tell my husband, he has to live with me, and he was witnessing change was immense. But I'm still not out of the woods entirely, as it's not clear as if it's a fast-growing tumour that could actually be problematic. However, regard what I'd said because of it, almost as if they might think, well, that explains a lot to talk that day. And I would recommend opening up to someone you trust. Bottling up is never a healthy option. Gosh, thank you for that. That's a brave email to send, and I do wish you well with the other issue. Right, let's continue with your calls this morning. 0800 731 2000. You're listening to BBC Local Radio with BBC Radio 5 Live. Let's get next.
Yeah, but you've moved on, haven't you?
No, we're still talking about that.
Was it whatever that word is? Alcoholism?
Well, we've been discussing a lot on the programme this morning.
Goodness me. You cover everything.
Well, it's an open forum here. This is a chance for the nation to talk, Alan, so I'd love to hear what's on your mind.
Then turn left.
Yeah? Really? Any of those three subjects, but I don't know anything about alcoholism. Well, when I heard that gentleman talking about he came down to London or something, and he was a bit anxious and he didn't know what it was, so he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, do you drink tea? And he said yes, and he said that's the answer. I don't think the doctor meant that. He says what type. He should have said what type of tea. I think that's it. But if you have migraine headaches, decaffeinated's best.
So how much caffeine?
Sorry?
How much caffeine would you say you consume in any day?
Well, none.
None at all. Okay.
Well, I had suffered really, really bad headaches, And for 9 months, the doctors couldn't work out which medication to give me.
Right.
They gave me this headache. Gentleman I play golf with said, have you thought of switching any drugs?
Okay.
I mean, drugs might help other people. Let's not belittle drugs. I save the NHS money.
What a useful experience to share, Alan. Thank you for your call this morning. Yeah, drugs aren't always the answer, are they? Actually, it might be something you're doing to yourself that could be quite easily resolved, as Alan's story highlights. 0800 731 2000. Maria, thank you for your email this morning. Sarah, thank you